Hi, my name's Rob Hadley and I'm a hypnotist. You can find my website at robhadley.ca. Welcome to Self-Hypnosis Skills for a Better Life. In this collection, I am helping you develop some of your own hypnosis skills, just to make it easy for you to either be hypnotized by a therapist, or if you'd like to do some of the exercises yourself and even maybe create your own hypnosis scripts. These will help you do precisely that. So when thinking about hypnotherapy, many people wonder, can I be hypnotized? It's a perfectly reasonable question and a very valid one when you're about to shell out a substantial amount of money on therapy. Most people can be hypnotized. I've encountered very few who can't be. They are rare and, I should add, a little disturbing at times. However, many people ask about this without a very good idea of what hypnosis really is. Hypnosis is simply a state in which the mind achieves trance, nothing more. You can find it in a number of ways, and it's generally relaxed and very comfortable. Hypnotherapy is the use of a therapy while in that trance state, likely to create a positive outcome to do with health and wellness. The chances are you've already experienced a trance state before. Many people slip into a light level of trance when driving long distances or playing video games. The key indicator is to have lost track of time. It's perfectly harmless, but when driving long distances, it's quite normal to suddenly realize you've driven further than you anticipated, or simply that time has slipped away. The same can be experienced by working intensely, perhaps on a spreadsheet or a particularly detailed project. You just lose yourself in it for a while, very possibly feeling as though you're in the zone. There are many different ways to hypnotize people, and some methods simply don't work with some subjects. They'll require a slightly different approach, but the goal remains the same, to achieve a level of trance. During that trance, the mind's very receptive to certain types of messaging. To be effective, there does need to be some level of rapport between the subject and the hypnotist. Ironically, sometimes people are more comfortable listening to an MP3 than being in the presence of some stranger who tells them they can be hypnotized. Perhaps an MP3 is somehow less threatening, I really don't know. But we've certainly observed, through many years of therapy work, that MP3s have a very important place in this picture. I should also add something else here. There's a lot of nonsense talked about hypnosis. Some hypnotists try to package it as horribly complex, and it's not. It's simply the act of achieving this trance state. One can do it for oneself or use an outside help, such as a hypnotist or MP3. There are many reasons people make it complicated, often to do with being able to charge more for their explanations. Don't be fooled. It's really quite simple. We look to achieve a trance state, deliver the right messaging, and then either exit hypnosis or allow the subject to literally sleep it off. For some subjects, falling asleep during a hypnosis session isn't unusual, and the messaging generally lands just where it's meant to. I think I learned more about hypnosis from traditional healers when traveling in Africa than I did from any supposedly academic training. My training with Leslie McIntosh and Jerry Kine was very helpful, but I think they possessed something of an innate ability, much as those traditional healers had, rather than a specifically learned set of skills. That said, there's a series of great exercises here that will help you develop your own natural ability to achieve trance. These will help you when working with trance with others, whether they are hypnotists or you're using an MP3. Much of this is, like so many things, about practice. You'll notice I've not really used the word therapy very much so far. When it comes to therapy, a well-trained and experienced hypnotherapist really is a good idea. There's far more complexity to therapy and counselling than there is to simply achieving trance. In Malaysia, the teenagers in rural villages play a game in which they essentially hypnotize one of the younger children. Of course, the subject is very compliant and will then do the bidding of the teenagers that are often doing this exercise. It's all rather sinister describing it here, however, it's a relatively normal part of growing up for most people playing these games. This is usually happening in rural areas, and it's an old, established thing. Well, I wouldn't recommend this. I can see how such a thing comes about, though. We could even say that the graduation hypnosis show that is quite common in Canada and the US is not so very different, actually. Kids will, of course, be kids. One has to hope they play nicely. So you don't need to be a genius to hypnotize anyone, least of all yourself. There's a great many examples of activities that look awfully like hypnosis that may not be called that. You've possibly seen a preacher leading a congregation, guiding them with verbal cues, and they respond a particular way. This is drawing on many of the techniques of hypnosis, particularly televangelists. There's a sense that the preacher has authority. The congregation is part of an association, a group working to the same goal. And then there's the suggestions, delivered in the form of a sermon. There's even sometimes subdued music, darkened lighting, and repetitive chants. One could easily mistake this for hypnosis. Equally, in a school, sometimes a school teacher stands up at the front of the class, bringing authority. The class, the group, is an association, and the lesson is all about suggestion. Now, children, sit quietly while I explain this problem. Well, that is a little bit like a hypnotic process in some ways. And yes, sometimes kids do zone out. Likely, they're falling into some level of light trance. So in this program, I'll be providing 5 hypnosis files to practice with, and 5 short talks about how to develop your self-hypnosis skills, and to help you understand a little more about hypnosis generally. I hope you enjoy them. And of course, I do welcome feedback. You can hit me up on Twitter, or you can email me at vanbc1963@yahoo.com. Here's the first practice file. In this file, we're simply aiming to achieve a very light level of trance. Nothing more. You'll enjoy it, so just give it a try. Find a quiet place to relax and settle down, and obviously don't use any of these files while driving or operating machinery. It's best to practice these files late in the day before sleep. If you enjoy the exercise, you might want to go onto my website, robhadley.ca, and look for the online download called Self-Hypnosis Skills for a Better Life. In this pack, you'll get 5 self-hypnosis files with which to practice, and 5 short talks about how to improve your ability to get into trance. It's a great value pack, and it's just $24.95. Now enjoy this exercise, and feel free to ask any questions in the comments section. I'll do my best to answer them. So for the next few minutes, what I'd like you to do is find a nice quiet place where you won't be disturbed. And what we're going to do is just a very simple exercise to help you achieve trance and to generally allow you to experience the first stages of hypnosis. And when this is complete, you'll just either stay in that state or come back to full wakefulness if you so choose. And if you remain in that state, all that's going to happen is you just drift off to sleep. It's a nice thing to do late in the day, perhaps when you've already gone to bed, and listen to the file as many times as you like. So what I'd like you to do just for a moment is close your eyes and take a nice deep breath. And this is how we often start a session. Take that nice deep breath, slightly deeper than you generally take. And then as you release it, hold it back slightly as you release, pressing it all the way out. And once again taking a nice inhale. And then releasing that breath slowly all the way out. And while I continue to talk to you, I'd like you to continue to breathe in that style. It's a slightly exaggerated form of breath. And after a little while, listening to my voice, you're going to find the muscles in your body start to really relax quite nicely. But you just keep maintaining that style of breath, allowing your body to enjoy the gentle motion of the lifting of your ribcage, and then the release and the press. And just allow the muscles now in your shoulders, while you maintain that breathing cycle, let the muscles in your shoulders ease into a state of total calm. And if it helps, you can actually think of those muscles as being just a little bit like elastic bands or bungee straps, something which are stretched. And as you take all the tension off your shoulders, they ease and they become softer. And like those bungee straps, they just become loose and limp as all the tension is taken off. And as you continue this cycle of breathing and visualizing the muscles in your shoulders just letting go, you're going to start to find yourself drifting now into a lovely calm state and releasing the muscles in your neck. And of course, as you do so, it's a strange experience, but soon your head will feel just a little heavier. The muscles in the face, just allowing those muscles to gradually let go and allow your face to become very, very calm as well. We carry a lot of tension in our faces sometimes, but as you focus your mind on releasing any of that tension in your eyelids, around the side of your mouth, slowly letting yourself become more and more calm and relaxed. And of course your breathing continuing to lull you, move you gently, slow you down, letting you slowly release any thought of stress or any thought of anything other than my words as you now let yourself go deeper and deeper into this sensation. And sometimes it does help to picture the very crown of your head. It's not a part of our body we think of very often. You can almost imagine looking up at the crown of your head from within your cranium and allowing yourself to just drift deeper into this sensation. And I'm going to count you down in a moment from 3 down. And as I do count you down, you're going to find yourself slipping down further and further into this comfortable feeling, becoming more and more relaxed by the moment and with every breath. And as you do release that breath, it's almost as though you're blowing out any tension, blowing out any feelings that might be holding you back here. And 3, your shoulders and your neck, your head, you feel very, very heavy now. 2, each exhale, just letting you go of anything that's been troubling you. 1, allowing your mind to focus on your breathing and bringing your attention to the crown of your head. And sleep. And every time I do say the word sleep and snap my fingers, you're going to just drift into this healthy, calm, safe state of being very, very relaxed. And it almost feels as though your shoulders and your neck and your head are so heavy now. Maybe your eyelids feel almost as though they've been glued closed. Just allow that feeling. You can choose to allow those feelings and experiences. It's almost as though you can actually step back and enjoy just looking at yourself, examining how these feelings can be experienced. You can allow the muscles in your belly, the muscles around your legs, your buttocks, just let them release completely. If you're lying down, you'll probably find your arms and legs now feel much heavier in a sense. And partly it's that you just don't want to move them. You feel so relaxed now. And if you like, you can imagine yourself drifting on a beautiful little boat, very safely, drifting down a river. The overhanging branches, dappled sunlight on the river surface. And it's a lovely calm river, and it's perfectly safe. And maybe you can hear the laughter of some children in the background or somebody playing, and you just feel completely relaxed and safe and content. Just let those feelings wash over you as you enjoy this sensation of total calm. Now, as you do let your mind drift like this, I just want to remind you that the practice of getting into this lovely, totally tranquil place is something you can do regularly and will actually improve your skills in self-hypnosis. This is a positive thing to do. It's something which will help perhaps find some resolutions for you. It's a wonderful tool. So just allow yourself to experience the sensations. Maybe you feel that drifting. Perhaps you just feel weighty and heavy, as though you've done a wonderful day's work of something exerting your body, and you find that sense of righteous tiredness, a sense of being tired, but having done something really worthwhile to get to that place. Now, while you're in this wonderfully receptive state, of course it would be foolish to not use it just a little bit, to drop a couple of positive suggestions into your mind. So what I'd like you to just remind yourself of is the fact that even by listening through to this point in this recording, you've obviously resolved to work on a few things around hypnosis. Well, this can be a very positive tool for you. And the fact that you are making these efforts really goes to show how you can be so motivated and driven to find better solutions for you. That's something you can feel really good about. It's a little bit like, the first step in a journey is often the hardest step. Well, you've taken several steps already by getting this far in this MP3. You can be proud of yourself for that. You can feel good. You are moving towards better solutions. And with that, I'm going to leave you to just enjoy the rest of this feeling. If you've really enjoyed it, be sure to leave a comment below and check out my website at robhadley.ca. You can find other recordings much like this, or the other parts in this program, the Self-Hypnosis for a Better Life program.